Welcome back. It is Tuesday, March 19th in the NBA. My three best bets are on the way. As Austin joined by Logan, let's talk about yesterday. And if you want to avoid our rant, well, you can fast forward to our picks. Let's talk about Logan an 0-4 day. Now, we returned the ladder challenge, as a lot of you guys probably know. Lost on the hook. All legs were pretty sweat-free. Pascal Siakam, LeBron, Austin Reeves. The one leg we lose on, Halliburton. 15 points. Best I can do is 14 back-to-back ladders where we've lost. I'm a guy to score 15 points, and they scored 14 on the dot. Just painful. The man shot 14 times, 5 free. What can you do there? Logan, how do you feel about Jazz plus 7.5? How's that?
Jazz plus 7.5 almost made me retire from betting NBA spreads because it was an easy winner once the Wolves decided to dribble out the ball. And then Jaden McDaniels decided to be the enemy of this channel and the enemy of most of the Twitter community last night when he shot a meaningless three as time expired and it went in. So that's about the most brutal way I've lost a cover. And I don't know how I'm here, but I'm here to bounce back today for sure.
I mean, yeah, it does not get worse than that. Now, you thought once those two happened, we moved to the late night slate, and you just knew when that's going to happen, you lose two straight like that. You just knew it was going to be in for a bad night, but it got even worse. Now I'll skip to DeJounte Murray. Him and the Hawks got blown out. He was actually the least bad beat of the day. He shot like 5 for 18, didn't play in the fourth. And the worst beat, not worst, maybe beat of the day, Logan has that covered. He has that base covered. Josh Hart over in points plus rebounds. I was going back and forth between PRAs and points plus rebounds. The man had a triple-double. I told you guys I was sprinkling on it, so at least you made some bankroll back if you did with the triple-double. But how did he lose? He ended with 21. He shot like 4 for 18. The man was left wide open, could not buy a bucket. He had several rebounds taken away from him. Some that was categorized as a team rebound, even though he had it and then got fouled. And then on top of that, at the end of the game, about 5 minutes left, he missed the dunk, wide open dunk missed. And then on top of that, I thought maybe we'd get some good luck because we had been so unlucky. He had an opportunity to go to the free throw line. He had, they passed it to him with like 10 seconds left. The Warriors attempted to foul him. They did foul him. The refs just were like, we want to go home. They didn't call a foul, so they let his pass up to Miles McBride go, and he got another assist just to add on to the paint. I mean, look, when we say, hey, you're going to go through some unlucky runs, that is about as unlucky as a day gets. I certainly believe we are due some good luck, and we're going to dive into the picks today. I'm going to start with my favorite player prop of the day, but on the somber note, on a bright spot, today, later on this afternoon, you're going to get an MLB video. Yes, the MLB is back. There's only 2 games, one today, or one technically tomorrow at 6 a.m., and then one the next day. And then they're going to take about a week off before the real slate starts. But Logan and I cooked up some MLB picks, and I think the MLB is needed in the worst way because Logan and I, after a day like yesterday, we really need to set something to take our mind off of just NBA and how it's been just some bad luck all of March. And, those months and stretches happen where you just cannot buy anything to go your way. It's going to happen. We've had plenty of runs, plenty of worse runs than what we've been doing in March. Hopefully we can bounce back and go 3-0 today. I got a prop, and then Logan's got a spread, and then we'll talk about our third pick. But I'm going to start with my prop, and it's going to be Miles Bridges of the Charlotte Hornets over 20.5 points, minus 104 on FanDuel. I was considering laying a little bit of juice at 20-plus points, but at the end of the day, with Bridges, he's all or nothing. He's either dropping like 25, or he's probably going to get about 13 points tonight. But I really like his spot, and I don't really think this line changes a ton. I think the 20.5 is probably a right price line, but I think he's got a good chance at going over this line. Now, Bridges and the Hornets are pretty banged up, and could they get blown out today in Orlando, taking on the Magic? Yeah, they certainly can, but I think they can keep this game at least competitive, and even if it's not competitive, Bridges will play a lot of minutes regardless. And over his last 6 games, when they've really lost, not only they were already banged up as is, they've lost even more guys like Cody Martin. His last 6, you've seen Bridges have 32, 24, 24, 27, 17, and 14 points. Now, he's averaged 23 points per game over that time span, playing about 40 minutes per game. I mean, they put up a stat last night in the Knicks game. The only guy playing more minutes than him right now is Josh Hart, who played all 48 minutes. I had icing on top. He played literally he didn't, no more about Josh Hart. On top of that, 20 field goal attempts. So the volume's there, the minutes are there, and I think he's going to continue to play a lot of minutes, and I think he'll continue to be aggressive. This is a Magic team that, sure, they are a very good defensive team, but they also maybe could slip up against a team like the Hornets. Maybe they let them hang around. Maybe their defensive energy isn't 100% there. But I think Bridges is a guy that will drive to the hoop. He can get to the free throw line. He's been doing that better recently. But also, I think he's going to have the volume. That's all we're really asking for. Bridges has played the Magic twice this season, and one of the games earlier this year scored 23 points on 9 of 17 shooting. Then the other game 2 weeks ago, only 7 7 points on 3 of 16 shooting. Now, obviously, the Magic are capable of making guys go 3 of 16 from the field, but the volume is there, and I think that's a reason we're getting a discounted line here, where Bridges is typically in the 22.5, 23.5 range, and I don't see his teammates really taking off. So Bridges is a guy that is coming off 2 bad shooting games. He shot 33% in both the last 2 games. So I'm not saying, hey, it's a great matchup for him to get back on track. I just think at the end of the day, he's better than a 33% shooter. And the Bucks are pricing his 3-point lines at a pretty good number for us. I mean, they're saying he makes 2 plus 3s at minus 200. FanDuel's got that at minus 250. So look, they're saying, hey, we think he makes 2 threes. They don't know if he makes 3, but the thing is he knocks down at least 2. And this season, he's over this line in 71% of games when he's made 2 or more threes without LaMelo Ball. And if you add on top of the field goal attempts that he's going to shoot outside of the 2 threes that they're assuming he makes, he's going to have a lot of volume tonight. And I think Bridges has a chance. Will Banchero play some tough defense on him? Sure, but I think Bridges is capable of making some tough shots. And hopefully he gets things going a little bit today, especially after 2 back-to-back games. And hopefully that game's a little bit competitive. If there's anything that you know about the NBA, when you think a game's a blowout, no, it's not a blowout. That's not how it works. It's only the 2 3-point spreads that are blowouts. They're just like, why is this like this? I really think Bridges gets us over this line. It might not be pretty, but I think he gets over 20.5 points. I really think the line should be a little bit higher than him, maybe 21.5 or 22.5. So Miles Bridges, I need you in the worst way. Please deliver a winner for us. But Logan, you're going to an over-under because I don't think you can swallow taking another spread after yesterday. Which one are you going to?
Yeah, you're right, Austin. I cannot stomach a spread after yesterday, so I have to pick a total. I'm going to the totals market, and I really do like this one. And we're going to the Mavs versus Spurs game. I'm taking the over 231.5, minus 105 odds on Caesars, your best value there. I would consider playing this one up to 232.5 if it does climb a little bit. But look, guys, we're getting some value on this line. This line opened at 236.5, which means we're getting value on the over. For whatever reason, the betting public or whatever have bet this line down to 231.5. And like I said, I really like to bridge the gap in the totals market when it opens much higher than what it's at right now, because they're sharp on these lines. Do I need to tell you of how sharp they are on these lines? I don't think I should. So it wouldn't surprise me if the final score does end up a little bit closer to the 236.5 mark. Because look at the prior matchups. The total has soared over this line in 2 out of 3 matchups this season. We got a 126 to 119 game, and we got a 114 to 119 game that went both over this total. If the Spurs can give us 119 like they did in those games, this bet is hitting with ease. Now, I wouldn't count on that because this is a very shaky Spurs offensive team. But Dallas isn't a great defensive team. 23rd in opponents' points per game, 26th in opponents' fast break points per game allowed, 22nd in opponents' points per game in the paint allowed. You should be able to score on this Dallas Mavericks team, and a bad shooting team like the San Antonio Spurs need those paint and fast break points, which is what they do best, actually. 11th in both of those categories for San Antonio. They get out and run. Speed this game up, because if it's a half-court game, San Antonio is really not going to stand a chance at being even competitive in this game. Probably not scoring a whole lot of points if it's a half-court game. But I definitely think they're going to get out and run, because you can do that against the Mavericks. And Dallas, let's talk about their offense. They should be able to get looks from anywhere they want tonight. Spurs, 28th in points paints allowed points per game, 25th in opponents' points per game as a whole, 18th in fast break points per game allowed. The San Antonio Spurs are not a great defensive team. There is a reason why they're so pitiful record-wise. And Dallas is a great team that can make you pay from pretty much anywhere on the floor, especially on the road from behind the arc. They're second in threes attempted and third in threes made. This is why the Dallas Mavericks are a great covering team on the road, because they just know how to go into opponents' arenas and shoot the lights out, especially from 3. They should be able to get looks from 3 today. Luka and Kyrie should do the Spurs dirty today. I mean, I look at Luka, he's always a game-time decision on the injury report, but I'd be pretty shocked if he doesn't play. The spread's at 8.5 for a reason. If Luka doesn't play, well, obviously, we're going to lose some points there, but Kyrie is still an absolute baller. He and all of the role players should show up tonight for the Mavs. And Wemby still, you won't have anyone on this floor that can guard him. He should be able to get 25 plus easily tonight. He had 26 in their most recent matchup, and that was a game when the Spurs as a team shot like 25% from three. That's why that was the one game to actually go under this total, because the Spurs couldn't even crack 100. I think the Spurs are in a prime position to give us some points. I think the Mavericks are also going to give us some points. The over is the clear play for me. There's a reason why this total is set so high. I mean, normally you don't see Spurs games in the 230s because that's just not who they are. But I think there's a reason why, and it's because it's got track meet all over it. Austin, I'm dabbling in the totals market, but I do really like this bet, and I think it's going to cash.
Love the pick. I really hope. I was looking at the lines. I think Luka's at 33.5 points. So hopefully he plays. They're expecting obviously a pretty good game from him. Wemby, I think, was 23.5. Kyrie, 25.5. So pretty high lines. They're expecting some points in that game. Hopefully, you get some good 3-point shooting, because that's honestly what the over-unders typically come down to, is how the team shoot from three. And hopefully one of the Mavericks and Spurs show up for you. Now, third and final pick of the day. I'm not going to call it the ladder challenge because the ladder is officially cursed. We don't say that word anymore here. I don't know what the name of it will be, but it will be very similar to that, where we're trying to reinvest our money every day, as well as put one unit on it. I'm not going to let the last two, I mean, people say, I've only done 2 ladders in basically the last 2 months, and they've had as bad of beats as you can get. The first one was Kobe White, where we needed 15 from him, and he wanted a double OT and ended with 14. And obviously last night with Halliburton. Still feel like we're, eventually going to get some good luck going our way there. And hopefully that starts today, just switching up the name of it, and maybe the name change leads to a lot of success. And I'm not going to force a ton of props, because there are some that I like out there that I do feel are pretty sharp lines, but I think the guys get pretty close to them. And as you guys know, we take some alt lines for the daily double, if you will. But that's going to be my favorite picks of the day. Austin, I'm on Miles Bridges. Logan's on the over in the Mavs Spurs game. And we'll have that that daily double, if you want to call it, link down below in the pinned comment post a little bit later on today. You guys have a wonderful day, and later on today you will see a second video spawn on the channel for Dodgers versus Padres, a game that is a first pitch at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. So definitely stay tuned for that. Austin, Logan signing out. I'll see you guys in that MLB video in a little bit. I'll see you then. Peace.